Look, are you seeing anyone? Oh, just bluntly straight up. No. Would you like to be? How are you gonna approach a person this way, huh? Hey, are you seeing anybody? No. Would you like to be? As in me? Come on, there's slicker ways to go about it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the England Exchange. I'm your host, a bird known as Falcon. Let's get underway here today. When I came across Mark that day, he was nose deep in Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Good book? He jumped violently, the book flying nearly a foot out of his hands. I'm not reading anything. What? There's a book right there. You're holding it right in front of me. No, it's nothing. I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Well, let's talk about something else then. Yeah. Mark agreed, but he was staring at the floor, trembling slightly. Are you sure you're okay? You're acting pretty weird. He leaned over to the side of his chair and picked up a rose from off the floor. Mark, why are you blushing and holding a rose? Where did you get that? It's for you. Uh-oh. Mark, you know what, dude? I said I liked you. Just not in that way, Mark. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Mark, but, I kind of have my sights set on Peggy here. I'm a one-bird type of guy, or literally a bird, because you could call ladies birds, that's a pretty cute bird over there. Isn't that, British terminology, or is that, just old school terminology? It probably is, fucking the 40s black and white films. Man, that's a pretty cool, pretty good-looking bird over there, you know what I'm saying? Not sure why they talk like they're mobsters too, but still. Anyway, we're getting on a tangent here. He held out the rose, his trembling was magnified by the rose stem, and it shuddered in the air, almost as if it were dancing. I took it just to stop its movement. Thank you? My acceptance of the rose seemed to give him some confidence, because he stood up and then kneeled below me. What are you doing? What's happening here? He cleared his throat, then held out his hand as if delivering a monologue to Yorick's skull. My dearest Falcon 69, the star of my eyes. Oh God. You are the sun in my day, the skip in my step, the peanut butter to my jelly. You are a cinnamon candle in winter. Mark. It wasn't as much of a surprise as I thought I should have been. The idea that he liked me anyway. The poetic language, that was a surprise. Poetic language, the peanut butter to my jelly? Okay, look, Falcon 69, I am no, literary master myself, but the peanut butter to my jelly? I mean, come on, man, that's just saying, the sugar to my Kool-Aid or something. Anyway, you are what gets me up in the morning and what keeps me going. You have been overtaking my mind as of late. You have possessed me, body and soul. He swallowed again and glanced wildly around the room. After a moment of awkward silence, I realized he'd forgotten what he was going to say. A blush spread across his cheeks. It was sort of cute. Falcon 69, it's not cute, man, okay? It's not cute. All in all, you have no idea how much you mean to me, and I would very much like to date you and try to make you as happy as you have unknowingly made me. He nodded firmly and finally looked at me, marking the end of his speech. Wait, I had to respond. Please stand up, I feel really weird talking to you when you're kneeling. Oh, sorry. He stood, and we looked at each other in an uncomfortable silence. That was very strange, wasn't it? Yeah, Mark, it was very strange. Damn right it was strange. It's very strange still. I never really thought about this. It's okay. I'd always treated Mark as a friend, nothing more. To be honest, we hadn't really had all that much of a connection, hardly more than a few regular conversations. Nothing seemed to mark him as obviously interested in me before today, yet here we were. Maybe this was just the way he was. But it was too sudden for me to know conclusively whether I wanted to date him, especially in any sort of exclusive way. How should I respond? Turn him down or a maybe? Okay, look, Mark, you're a splendid dude. I like your personality a lot, man. I mentioned it earlier in the videos. But, I'm more of a swing towards the lady side of the fence, you know what I'm saying? But I am very, very thankful that you find me attractive enough for you. But I might have to turn you down, buddy, okay? Okay? I'm flattered, though. Believe me, I am very flattered. I really appreciate it, but I'm afraid I just don't see you in that way. Mark's face fell. Oh. I held a rose out to him, and he took it with a trembling smile. Well, at least I tried, right? If you don't mind, I know you just turned me down, but if it's okay if I still talk to you at times, yes? Oh, of course. We're friends after all. Good. That's good then. There is no harm, I think. He rubbed his neck awkwardly, which I took as my cue. I'd better head out then. Yeah. Thanks for listening. No, thanks for, thanks. Yeah. Oh boy, that came out of left field, man. Thank you for your help. No problem, Angie. That is not my name. I know, man, I know. He grinned and Angelo walked away, shaking his head. Danny, can I? As soon as he noticed I was there, and that we were done and we were alone, Danny left the room. Weird. I'm telling you, this guy is a serial killer, and he wants to cuck me out of Peggy, apparently. Danny had been avoiding me lately. He still spoke to me as if things were normal when we were surrounded by other people, but every time we had an opportunity to speak privately, his smile fell and he ran from me as fast as he could. This time, however, I decided to tail him. And not weird at all. Dude, just leave him alone. He doesn't want to talk to you, it's fine. He's gonna probably kill you if you keep going after him. You can't avoid me forever, Danny. He stopped to look at me and shake his head, then disappeared into his room. Danny! I stood outside of his bedroom door. Please talk to me. I'm not gonna hurt you or anything. I don't bite and I haven't punched anyone since elementary school. His voice was only slightly muffled by the door between us. You've punched someone before? Yeah, in the stomach. He threw up afterwards and I got in loads of trouble. I felt bad. Ace. So you'll talk to me then? His door cracked open a bit and he stuck his face through. Depends, what exactly do you want to talk to me about so badly? You and I, we've never really talked. No, I suppose we haven't, but isn't that the reason enough to do so now? I have questions for you anyway. He grimaced and pulled the door open wider. My guess is that you won't leave me alone until we get together, or we get whatever answers you're looking for. Is that about right? I mean, not really. I really don't want to pursue this because I feel you'll kill me. But, sure. Yep, definitely. You don't seem to like the type to get tired or bored, and I'd rather not feel like I'm dancing around mines when I go for a snack. He sighed and I grinned, feeling only a little bad for pestering him so much. Alright, we're not having this conversation here. I don't want anyone else to overhear this. We walked to a cafe, making idle chit-chat on the way over. At least I made chit-chat. Danny looked almost constipated. He was so closed up. I had no idea what was making him so nervous. It was like he already had an idea of how this conversation would pan out, but he didn't even know what I was there to ask. We sat up at a table against the front window, me with a minty mocha, and him with some kind of fancy black tea. A minty mocha, man, just have an espresso shot or two, man. Or a black coffee. Minty mocha, this guy. Danny sipped his drink politely, looking like a medieval knight, or an aristocratic gentleman. He had that kind of effortless poise and grace that other men would be desperate to emulate. So, Falcon 69, I perked up. What do you think of me, really? What do you know about me? You're a great guy with low self-esteem, or you're hiding some dark secret? Well, I mean, I've told you guys from the start, I think he's a serial killer. Let's go with that one. That obvious, is it? Oh, I told you guys there! We cracked it. Now let's leave. Let's leave before he pulls a knife and he stabs me in front of people. Well, it's obvious that something's bothering you anyway. Something makes you feel like you don't deserve people caring about you. I guess I should have known you would piece it together. Maybe I even wanted you to. It's hard when nobody around you knows. Something I completely forget that it ever happened, and sometimes it's all I can think about. Everyone here smiles and laughs so easily. It's like they've never struggled. They've never been someone bad. Now is your chance to turn back. We can pretend this never happened. Sometimes you really do wish you had never known something. No, I definitely want to know. I'm sure it's fine. He sighed. Don't say I didn't warn you. Just leave it alone, dude. He's in a... I told you, I already cracked it when I first saw this guy. He was just so weird. I won't bother asking that you think of me after I tell you, especially because I'm still some parts I would never explain more than I will say now. Stop acting like you know how I'll react. It's annoying me. He chuckled. I suppose. Well then. Stop being a drama queen, Aunt Danny. Just tell me what the fucking problem is. I spent years in a young offenders institute, top security. What'd I tell you guys? Okay, did I not call this from a long time ago? I called it, right? He's a serial killer in the making. I won't tell you exactly when or where or why. Oh yeah, I wonder why you're not gonna tell me why you were in there. It was all committed under a different name. And I'm gonna tell you my birth name. Look, you kidding me right now? He was in an offenders institute, top security might I add. And he operated under a different alias. Come on, man. Red flags everywhere. What I did was bad enough that I was granted anonymity when I was released, to prevent anyone from tracking me down and get revenge. Mary Bell order, they call it. Do you... What? It was so bad they had to, like, erase them from existence. You're not who you were anymore. Now you're Danny, okay? The Danny you know is very different from the person I was before I got locked up. And even for a time after I came out of it, it took a while for me to face the bad parts about myself. I think about it sometimes. Everyone acts like it's so easy for them to be good. I wonder where I went wrong and what was wrong with me. What is wrong with me that makes it so tempting? But I digress. There it is. That's why I don't think I'm a good person, because I know I am not. But I am also not the same person I was. I have made vast improvements. I am safe to be around. I won't hurt other people. You don't need to worry about that, although I understand if you don't trust me. He took a sip of his tea, then met my eyes for the first time in days. So? That wasn't what I expected to hear. Not at all. Oh, really? You don't expect to hear every now and then that you happen to live in the same apartment building with the person who was locked up for, reasons unknown to you, in max security, top security, young offenders prison. Then he was released and he had to be completely wiped clean from the system because people might want to get revenge from him? Huh? Oh, no, I don't think I've ever been in that situation, no. Considering he didn't want to tell me why he went to jail, I had to assume it was for something seriously bad. And while he was a child, at that, what did he do? The fact that he was okay with me assuming the worst, murder or... What did that mean he had done it? Did that mean he had done worse than the worst? But he was sitting expectantly in front of me, waiting for a response. Suddenly the friendly and controlled exterior he always showed around the hostel, the concern for an awareness of other people's needs made sense. He taught himself how to behave the way precisely because it was not natural for him. And all the time I had known him, he had been nothing but kind and chivalrous, a bit moody but reliable, almost like a father figure, if he'd been older, of course. But this Danny in front of me now, this Danny, was different. He was approaching me as an equal, and judging from the tension in his hands, he was nervous. Set your teeth on edge, have I? That's about right. He laughed bitterly. It doesn't bother me, or would you do it again? Okay. Here's what I think we do. We tell him it doesn't bother us, because I don't want to make him on edge, because then if I tell him, if I show that I'm kind of worried about it, he might want to kill me, because then his story will get out. So we'll say like, oh no, it's fine, Danny, it doesn't bother me, and then we never talk to him again. Deal? Let's go with that one. I smiled and tried to put him at ease. Why didn't you tell him it before? Excuse me? Why didn't he tell you before? Is that something people go around sharing? I mean, I don't blame him for not telling me, but I already had a hint what he was up to. Isn't it obvious? It's damn obvious, Falcon 69, you dingus. I'm your friend, Danny. We're friends. I'm not going to judge you because of something you did in the past. You've been nothing but kind to me. Well, up until now. Now I know you've been lying to me. Frankly, I'm hurt. Oh, stop being a drama queen yourself, Falcon. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Hey, I'm not upset. I'm just trying to explain this to you. I'm not going to judge you based on the past. Whoever you were before doesn't matter. Danny is the guy I know, the new you, and as far as I can see, he's got nothing to be ashamed of. Danny suddenly placed his hand over mine and leaned across the table towards me. Oh fuck, what did I do? What? Then he kissed me. He pulled away, then laughed. Danny, look man, I was being courteous that I don't want you to kill me, but there's no need for you to get physical with me, dog. The look on your face, it's... Sorry. Did I upset you? I didn't mean to. Why is everybody coming out to me suddenly now, you know? Like, we had Mark, now we have Danny. Who's next? Brendan, the asshole? James, the guy who never washes his shirt? I've had my eye on you ever since you moved in, you know? You had that look about you. Like, there might be something there, but I didn't want to push my luck. I'm a bad apple, and you're only here for a few months. Crash and burn is a shoo-in. He's a bad apple. He's a bad seed, Danny. He's a bad guy. He's a bad boy. I want to tame his wild, uncontrollable heart. Isn't that right, ladies? Isn't that what you like in guys? You know, he's so rebellious. I need to tame him. Fuck, I hated that shit growing up as a younger kid, I suppose. Like, you know, I used to always imagine that was the case. Like, girls always went after the bad boy. And they kind of do. Let's not kid ourselves here. They kind of do. It's that whole wild and rebellious thing. You know, you want to be the person who apparently tames that guy. It annoyed me because I was never that rebellious guy, you know? I was always very clean-cut and by the books, and then I turned into a very bitter, sarcastic asshole, and then somehow, for some reason, that started to attract the ladies, becoming very bitter and sarcastic. I guess there it goes, you know, bad seeds do actually in the end win. Good guys finish last and all that jazz, apparently. Anyway, I digress. But for all that, I want to be with you if you're willing to give it a go. No? No, Danny. I'm not willing to give it a go. I just need you to leave Peggy alone, though, okay? I don't expect you to decide immediately, just give me a chance, think about it. Alright? He beamed. Great, now let's get you back to the hostel before one of the lads in here gets some idea about sealing you away. Oh, why? What's happening here? Why are all the guys coming after? What have I done to attract all the men in this game now? This talk ended well. Thank you, Falcon 69. You're truly remarkable. He shook his head. Anyways, I'll give you some space. I'm sure coming out terribly strong. Have a good night, Falcon 69. Oh, well, I'll have a night, alright. He crossed the hall and went into his room. I shut my door and stumbled over to my bed. So, not only was he some kind of ex-convict, but he also had feelings for me. How did I feel about Danny? Did I want to pursue a relationship with him, especially now that I knew the truth? But even now, I didn't know the whole truth. What if he had hurt someone in the past? Did I want to entrust my safety and heart to a man like that? It was all too much. Suddenly exhausted, I crawled into my covers and closed my eyes. In no time, I was asleep. Pursue Peggy or pursue Danny or no one? And you'd be by yourself the entire time? Nah, dog. Well, obviously we're gonna go with the ex-convict, right? No, we're going after Peggy, my man. I really wasn't sure where things stood with me and Peggy. We were friends, sure, and she turned to me for help sometimes, but was she interested? It seemed mostly like that she wasn't. I'd seen the way she looked at Danny sometimes when the group was together. Compared to Danny, I was a pretty poor imitation of manhood. But did that mean it was hopeless? That's a really bad representation of yourself there, man. I came here to England to take chances, to be less of a coward about talking to people, to try things out, even if they might not work out. What was the worst that could happen? She got creeped out and avoided me for the rest of the semester? Well, that would kind of suck, but it would only be a few months. I could survive. And that was the worst case. It probably wouldn't happen like that. More likely, what would happen would be someone knocked on my door. Hey, Falcon 69, you in there? Oh, speak of the red-headed devil, huh? I opened the door. Falcon 69, are you busy? I'm not exactly. Great, come with me. What? Where? Oh, right, some of my mates have a band. Think, I told you about it before, called the Rattle Prams. And they have a gig at a club tonight, and I promised I'd go, so I was hoping you'd come with me. Please? Hey, alright. Sure. Maybe it would be better to talk about our relationship afterwards. I didn't want to spoil her plans. For some reason, I was expecting a coffee house and an angry, short-haired woman with a guitar. That was not what I got. What kind of music is this? It's called sludge. What? Sludge metal. It's kind of heavy metal punk fusion. Any other questions I might have had turned out to be useless because she couldn't hear me over the growing bass and the screaming singer. Sludge metal, huh? Man, I feel like I haven't listened to music in a very long time, and I'm seeing like nowadays like all these new genres, like people talk about these genres, and I'm going like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm so out of tune with the music these days, man, it's crazy. After the show was over, we took the tube back to the hostel. Peggy, I wanted to... What? Sorry, I can't hear you, my ears are still ringing. I'll catch up with you next week, okay, Falcon 69? I'm going home to see my folks for spring break. Oh, come on, man! This is the worst thing that could have happened, because now I'm going to be thinking about that whole thing the entire week. That's what happens, man, believe me, when you have that whole big gap in between, not only, like, you know, when you ask somebody out or something, but just something really big, major, and you have to wait before it comes up. Oh my god, the dread just kills... Not really the dread, but it's just the anticipation just kills you. I hate not getting an answer right off the bat, you know? Like, even, like, if I went to the doctor, it's kind of like, you know, is it cancer, doctor? Just tell me straight up. I'd rather know now if it's cancer as opposed to just waiting the entire week thinking it's cancer. Just tell me the truth. Please don't give me cancer, God. I don't want cancer. At this rate, I'd be back in America before I could even find out how she felt about me. I lay back in my bed enjoying a lazy morning. Today was St. Patrick's Day. Back home, it would be an excuse for people to paint themselves green and hit the bars and get totally wasted. At least people who were old enough to drink. Speaking of St. Patty's Day drinking, I had one terrible experience, and ever since that experience, I've never, yes, I've drank on St. Patty's Day since that experience, but I avoid colored beer. I went out with a friend, we just got too obliterated, and we were drinking fucking green-colored beer. You know how they dropped a little food coloring into the beer to make it green, so Irish and St. Patty's-like? We were behind that bar just puking our guts out for a good hour after the entire night was over. And as you could probably imagine, yes, it was green because of the food coloring. Ever since then, Sorry, I'll take it plain if you don't mind. I'm pretty sure the food coloring had nothing to do with it. It was just the amount of alcohol we drank. But you know, it's kind of like a mental thing. You know what I'm saying? Something happens and you kind of get traumatized a bit. It's kind of like, nah, green beer. No, thank you, sir. Here in England, I was old enough, but I wasn't quite sure I was really how I wanted to spend my day or my limited budget. Sure, I could drop into the Crafty Crown and see if Ashley would hook me up, but it wasn't really fun to drink where I worked. Besides, I didn't want her to get into trouble. Well, London certainly wasn't short on pubs. Maybe I should go out and find somewhere different just for comparison. But I was definitely not going to get myself puking drunk. Good idea, dude. I had a lot more sense than that. Well, we'll see with me on the helm. Oh, I don't even get to get you drunk or what? Ah, come on. On Sunday, Peggy returned to the hostel. Hello, everybody. It's basically, she's imitating my introduction to videos now. Since I was the only one outside, no one else reacted to that. Hi Peggy, how was your trip? Ace, my mom was made up to see me, and she washed all my clothes too. I looked down at the bulging bags Peggy was carrying. Did she take all her clothing home? You, have done laundry while you've been living there, here, right? When would I have time? Besides, dryers are bad for the environment. My mom's got a clothesline in the garden. That's the way to do it. Speaking of, I've got to get these in quick snap. Excuse me? I've got to get these in quick snap, and the goddamn terminology something throws me off. And look at my books. I've got camp first thing tomorrow morning, and wait! What is it? Can we talk? Are we not talking now? I meant about things. Personal things. She just blinked at me. I don't know about this, guys. Look, are you seeing anyone? Oh, just bluntly straight up. No. Would you like to be? How are you gonna approach a person this way, huh? Hey, are you seeing anybody? No. Would you like to be? As in me? Come on, there's slicker ways to go about it. Huh? Oh! Falcon 69, you... She set down her suitcases. I never really thought about you like that. I had no idea that you... I don't know how I feel either. You don't? Well, I'm not saying I'm in love with you or anything crazy like that. Let's leave love out of the equation. That should not be in your vocabulary at the moment, Falcon. We're just barely trying to get into get our foot in the door here. Don't even mutter love. I like you. I'd like to go on a date with you and see what happens. That's good. That's acceptable. I know I'm not really your type. Yeah. Not that you're a bad type. Well, I hope not. She laughed, but it sounded more nervous and amused. I really do need to get my bags in and go over my assignments. I know you're really busy with all your classes and your hobbies and your causes and everything, but do you think you could find a little time for us, just to see? I feel bad, I really can't this week. I'm so sorry. I'm way behind. I've been slacking off and She looked like she was about to burst into tears. I hastened to reassure her. Then how about next week? It's not like I'm going anywhere. Okay. She looked at me like she wanted to say something else, but she blushed and hurried into the hostel. Yes! I had a date! Sort of. Well, it wasn't the smoothest way to kind of get a date. I'm not sure if that's like one of those like pity things where she's gonna be like, okay, I'll just go out with him to get him off my back, or if she's really gonna give it a chance or not. Hard to say. Alrighty guys, and here I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. Made a lot of progress. It does seem we have now narrowed in on Peggy, so if we're gonna date her, this is the chance we're looking for. Whether it's gonna work or not, I have no idea. It seems kind of really rocky at the moment, but we'll see how it plays out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a thumbs up, leave a like, stick around for next episode. I will catch you next time.